Hi everyone and welcome to another lecture presentation of Math 125. Today we want to look at examples of expanding and combining logarithmic functions using the laws of logarithms we saw in the previous video. So basically, as a reminder, log base A of a product A times B is the same thing as log base A of big A plus log base A of big B. In other words, the log of a product is the same thing as the sum of the logs. Log base A of A over B is the same thing as log base A of the numerator, big A over here, minus log base A of the denominator, which is log base B. In other words, the log of a quotient is the same thing as the difference of the logs. And log base A of big A to the power of C is the same thing as C times log base A of A. In other words, log of something with an exponent is the same thing as just pre-multiplying by the exponent. So now let's look at example number 1, where we want to use laws of logarithms to expand the following expressions. Well, looking at this example over here, it seems like we have log base 5 of a quotient 3x squared over y cubed. So it seems we can use property number 2, law number 2, which deals with quotients. So in this particular case precisely, little a is 5 and big A is 3x squared while big B is y cubed. So by 2, we have that this can be written as log base 5 of the numerator, which is 3x squared minus log base 5 of the denominator, which is y cubed. Well, this is by 2, if you will. Now, so by 2. You can also see that over here now we now have a product 3 times x squared. So for this we can apply property number 3, which says if you have log of something, log base something, log base 5 this time around, of actually we can apply property number 1 before we even get to property number 3. Let's apply property number 1 over here. So if you have a product, the product becomes a sum. So it means this over here can be written as log base 5 of 3 plus log base 5 of x squared minus, we still have log base 5 y cubed. We didn't do anything on this term over here. So now we can apply. So this was by property 1, if you will, by law number 1 over here, where we decided to write the product 3x squared as a sum. Now finally we can apply property number 3 because we have things that have exponents. By property number 3 we can always pre-multiply by the exponents. So over here this becomes log base 5 of 3, the exponent is 1, so that doesn't change anything, plus the exponent over here is 2, so we can bring 2 over here, so this becomes 2 times log base 5 of x. Here the exponent is 3, so we can bring down 3 over here, so this becomes minus 3 log base 5 of y. And that takes care of this example. Let's look at B, part B. Well, part B to start with, so this was by property number 3, if you will. Part B, you can notice that we have several things going on. We have a product x times square root of y over z. There's also a quotient, but I would say let's just focus on the product for a start. So if we have a product, the log of a product, ln is log base e, natural log. Log of a product is the same thing. The log of a product is the same thing as the sum of the logs. So by property number 1, this can be written as ln of x plus natural log of the square root of y over z. So that's by 1. Now that we have this, I would like for us to work on this a little bit over here. Notice that square root of y over z is the same thing as y over z all raised to the power 1/2. So if that's the case, then this becomes ln x plus ln of y over z to the power of 1/2. So now I want us to apply property number 3, because property number 3 says log base a of something with an exponent you can pre-multiply by the exponent. So the exponent here is 1/2, so this becomes ln x plus pre-multiplying by the exponent ln of y over z. Now we can apply property, so this was by 3, applying property number 3. So now we can apply property number 2 because we have a quotient y over z. But notice this is 1/2 times this quotient over here. So we have to be careful when applying property number 2. Then this would be ln x plus 1/2 inside the log of a quotient is the difference of the logs. So this would be ln of the numerator is y this time around, minus ln the denominator was b over here, but over here is z, so ln z. So this is what we end up having, and that's basically your answer. But you can probably write this as ln x plus say ln y minus ln z over 2. It's still the same thing, dividing by 2, or it's still the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. Dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying 1/2, and that's basically it as far as this example is concerned.